What if I told you? That one cold morning in America, a 77-year-old man heard a faint crying sound. Coming from inside a trash drum? Not a cat, not an animal, but a baby, a 2-year-old child, thrown away like garbage. And the worst part? He saw who did it. A young woman, calm, silent, walking away, as if she had just thrown away something worthless. Would you chase her? Would you save the child? Or would you freeze? The way he did? This is not just a story. This is a moment that changed a man forever. Because sometimes, the scariest thing in this world isn't monsters. It's humans who forget what love is. Stay till the end! Because what that old man did next will either restore your faith in humanity or completely break it. My name is Robert Hayes. I'm 77 years old. At this stage of life, mornings feel quieter than they used to. Not peaceful, just empty. The kind of empty that echoes. Every day, I sit on the same wooden bench on Maple Street. It's nothing special, just an old bench with chipped paint and a slight tilt on one side, but it's mine. It's where I go to remember, and sometimes to forget. That morning was colder than usual, the kind of cold that seeps into your bones and makes you question why you even stepped outside. My hands were wrapped around a paper cup of coffee, but the warmth never reached me. I wasn't really looking at anything, just watching the world pass by slowly. A car here, a distant siren. A stray dog crossing the road. Then I saw her. A young woman. Early 20s maybe. She walked fast. Not like someone late for work, but like someone trying to escape something. Her shoulders were tense, her head slightly down, and in her arms. She was holding something wrapped in a blanket. At first I didn't think much of it. People carry things all the time, but then I heard it. A faint sound. A cry. So soft, so weak, it almost blended into the cold air. My heart skipped. I leaned forward, narrowing my eyes, trying to focus. That's a baby, I whispered to myself. But why was she holding him like that? Not gently, not carefully, it looked distant, mechanical. Something didn't feel right. And then everything changed. She walked straight toward the alley. The same alley I had passed 1,000 times without ever thinking twice about it. There, next to a brick wall, stood a large metal trash drum, rusted, cold, forgotten. She stopped in front of it. For a second, time slowed down. I remember holding my breath. No, don't, I muttered, even though she couldn't hear me. She looked around quickly. Left, right. Our eyes almost met. But she looked away. Then, without hesitation, she lifted the lid and dropped the bundle inside. Just like that. No pause, no tears. No goodbye. Just gone. My mind refused to accept it. No. That's not what happened. But then, the crying. Louder now. Clearer. Desperate. That wasn't just a sound anymore. That was a child. Begging to be saved. I tried to stand up quickly, but my legs didn't listen. Age has a cruel way of reminding you of your limits at the worst possible moments. Hey! I shouted, my voice cracking. The woman froze for half a second. I thought, maybe she would turn around. Maybe she would run back. Maybe this was all some terrible mistake. But she didn't. She just kept walking. Faster this time. And then she disappeared around the corner. Gone. Just like that. I stood there shaking. Part of me wanted to chase her. To grab her. To scream at her. How could you do that? But another part of me, the louder part, pulled me toward the trash drum. The crying was weaker now. Fading. And in that moment, a terrifying thought hit me. If I waste even one more second, that child might not make it. I forced my legs to move. One step, then another. Each step felt heavier than the last. But I kept going. Because for the first time in years, my life wasn't empty anymore. It had a purpose. And that purpose was crying for help inside a trash drum. I don't remember exactly how I reached that trash drum, only that my body was moving faster than it had in years. My breath was uneven, my chest tight, and my hands, they wouldn't stop shaking. The closer I got, the quieter the crying became. That terrified me more than anything. Because loud crying means life. Weak crying means it's fading. No, stay with me, I whispered, even before I had opened the lid. For a moment, I just stood there, my hand resting on the cold metal cover. I don't know why I hesitated. Maybe I was afraid. Not of what was inside, but of what it would do to me once I saw it. Because deep down, I already knew. Slowly, I lifted the lid. The smell hit me first. Old garbage, damp air, something rotten. But I ignored it. My eyes searched desperately. And then I saw him. A tiny body curled awkwardly inside, wrapped in a thin blanket that wasn't even covering him properly. His face was pale. His cheeks wet. His lips trembling. He wasn't crying loudly anymore. He was struggling to cry. His small hands were moving weakly in the air, as if he was trying to hold on to something that wasn't there anymore. In that moment, time stopped. I wasn't a 77-year-old man anymore. I wasn't tired, or alone, or broken. I was just someone standing in front of a child who needed saving. And nothing else mattered. Part 5, First Contact, Human Connection. I reached inside slowly, afraid that even my touch might hurt him. When my hands finally lifted him, I realized how light he was. Too light. That kind of light that tells you he hasn't been cared for properly. His body was cold. Not just a little cold, but the kind of cold that makes your heart panic. I pulled him close to my chest immediately, wrapping my arms around him as tightly as I could without hurting him. And then something happened. He stopped crying. Just like that. No sound, no struggle. He just looked at me. Those eyes. God, I will never forget those eyes. They weren't just scared. They were searching, as if he was trying to understand who I was, and whether I was going to leave him too. I swallowed hard. My throat felt tight. "It's okay. I'm here," I whispered. I don't know if he understood the words, but he understood the feeling, because his tiny fingers slowly grabbed onto my coat and didn't let go. As I held him, my mind went back to what I had just seen. That woman, the way she walked, the way she didn't hesitate, the way she didn't look back. How does someone do that? How does a mother carry a child for months, feel him grow inside her, hear his first cry, hold him, and then one day decide he's nothing more than something to throw away? I looked down at the boy again. He was resting against me now, still holding onto my coat, his breathing slowly calming. Did he know what just happened? Did he understand that the person he trusted the most had just left him forever? Or was he too young to understand, but old enough to feel the pain? That thought broke something inside me. Because sometimes not understanding doesn't protect you from pain. It just makes it more confusing. I knew I couldn't stay there. The cold was getting worse. His body was still too weak. I had to act. Now. My hands were shaking as I reached for my phone. It took me 2 tries just to unlock it.
Come on,
I muttered under my breath. When the call finally connected, my voice didn't sound like mine. There's a baby. Someone threw him. He's in bad condition. I couldn't even form proper sentences, but they understood enough. Within minutes, I heard sirens. Loud, fast, urgent! For the first time since this all started, I felt a small sense of hope. But the boy, he tightened his grip on me even more, as if he knew something was about to change again. The ambulance arrived quickly. Paramedics rushed toward us. "Sir, we've got him," one of them said gently. I nodded, but my arms didn't move. I didn't want to let go, not because he was mine, but because he had already been let go once. And I didn't want him to feel that again. Carefully, they reached for him, and the moment he left my arms, he started crying, loud, desperate, not the weak crying from before. This was fear, pure fear, like his body was screaming. "Don't leave me again!" My heart shattered. I'm here, I kept saying, holding his tiny hand as long as I could. But eventually, they had to take him. And just like that, he was gone. The street went quiet again. Too quiet. The same bench. The same alley. The same cold air. But everything felt different. He wasn't there anymore. And neither was the part of me that used to sit here peacefully. People slowly walked away. Police left. The ambulance disappeared. Life continued, like nothing had happened. But for me, everything had changed. I sat back down on that bench, staring at the empty alley. And for the first time in years, I felt something I thought I had lost. Pain, deep, heavy, unbearable pain. Days turned into weeks. But I kept coming back to that bench. Every morning. Same time, same place. Not because I wanted to, But because I couldn't stay away, I needed to feel close to that moment. To him. The police never found the woman. No name, no face. No explanation. Just a question. Why? But the boy, he survived. And that's the only thing that gives me peace. Sometimes I close my eyes, and I see him again. Those small hands, that fragile body, those searching eyes. And I wonder, will he grow up happy? Will he ever feel loved again? Or will that moment stay with him forever? The same way it stayed with me? Because I'm 77 years old, and I've seen a lot in my life. But nothing has ever stayed with me like this. Because that day, I didn't just see a child being abandoned. I saw what happens when love disappears.